Hi friends, this is Narsimara Aramnini. Today we are discussing about important topic in chemistry, that is carbon family or 14th group elements or Fourier group elements. In this video, we will discussing about what are the chemical properties of 14th group elements and what are the compounds of carbon and silicon. What are the compounds of carbon and silicons like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and silicones, how they are prepared, what are the chemical properties of silicones, all these are discussed in this video. Okay, let's be discussing about the chemical properties. Here the first one is reaction with water. In this group, carbon, silicon, germanium do not react with water. Do not react with water. You remember this point. Tin only react with steam, like water, steam, to form SnO2. SnO2. And lead, only upper surface of the lead react with water to form a stable oxide film, but inner surface does not react with water. Only upper surface undergo oxidation to form stable oxide film and react with water. Here lead, tin react with water in the form of steam at high temperature. At high temperature to give tin oxide and releases the hydrogen gas, H2 gas. Okay, H2 gas. So like this. This is about the reaction with water. In this group, tin and lead only react with water. Tin form tin dioxide and lead form stable oxide film. Lead form stable oxide film, but remaining elements like carbon, silicon, germanium does not react with water. You remember this one. Okay, and next one is reaction with halogen atoms. These elements react with halogen atoms to form MX2 and MX4 type halides. MX2 and MX4 dihalides and tetrahalides. Okay, here except SnF4 and PbIF4, all tetrahalides are covalent in nature. Only SnF4 and PbF4 are some ionic in nature, but remaining all tetrahalides are covalent in nature. Covalent in nature. You remember these points. These two are ionic in nature. Okay. Sometimes they may ask which of the following is ionic tetrahalide. Okay. In that case, the options must be contain either SnF4 or PbF4. Okay. You remember this point. And next one is here these tetrahalides having tetrahedral shape, and moreover all tetrahalides undergo sp3 hybridization. All tetrahalides of 14 group elements undergo sp3 hybridization. Okay, like this. And next point is PbI4 does not exist. PbI4 does not exist due to the inert phase effect. Inert phase effect. Inert phase means the reluctance of NH2 pair electrons. Reluctance of NH2 pair electrons is called inert phase effect. Okay, due to the inert phase effect, that PbI4 does not exist. Why? Because PbI2 is only formed. PbI4, but PbF4, PbCl4, PbBr4 may be formed. Why? Because due to the more electronegativity of that fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they may react with that NH2 pair electrons. They may react with NH2 pair electrons due to more electronegativity of fluorine, chlorine. Okay, like that. So PbI4 does not exist due to the inert phase effect. Okay, the stability of tetrahalides decreases from top to bottom. Stability of tetrahalides is decreased from top to bottom due to the inert phase effect. So the stability order is CX4 is greater than SiX4 is greater than GeX4, SnX4 and PbX4, like this. Similarly, in case of halides, for example, if you take carbon is common, okay, so along with, in case of halides, the order of stability is equal to CF4, ClF4, BrF4 and next one is CI4. Okay, this is the stability order of different halogen atoms. Stability order of different halogen atom with respect to the same common 14 group elements. Okay, similarly you can write like SiF4, SiCl4, SiBr4 and SiI4 like this. Okay, in aspects of halogen, this is the stability order. In aspects of here, X is the common. X is common, central atom is changed, but here central atom is common, halogen atom is changed like this. So, respective to the halogen, this is the stability order. Respective to the 14th group elements, this is the stability order. Okay, so tetrahalide stability order. And some more points are the stability of dihalides increases from top to bottom due to electrical effect. Stability of tetrahalides is decreased from top to bottom, but stability of dihalides is increased from top to bottom. Okay, you remember these points. And next one is carbon halides does not undergo hydrolysis and does not form complex due to the absence of empty d orbitals. You remember this point. Okay, due to the absence of empty d orbitals, these carbon tetrahalides does not undergo hydrolysis as well as unable to form the complex like compounds. Okay, here, but other elements can do these two properties, exhibit these two properties. But other element tetrahalides undergo hydrolysis as well as they are able to form complexes. Okay, here due to the presence of that empty d orbitals, I just show some reactions between the tetrahalides and water molecules. Here, if you observe the mechanism reaction between the tetrahalides and water molecules. Here, due to the in case of silicon, that silicon contain empty d orbitals, 3d orbitals, empty 3d orbitals. This is maybe considered as a SiCl4 structure. Here, the first, due to the presence of these empty d orbitals, they react with lone pair of electrons present in oxygen, water molecules of oxygen. So, they are able to form bonding with water molecule due to the presence of that empty, by using that empty d orbitals, they combined with water molecules. Okay, like this. Here some partial positive charge is generated. Here negative charge is also generated like this. Here like this, then here one of the Cl molecule eliminated, and here one of the oxygen molecule is also eliminated. H plus molecule is eliminated from this water molecule. Okay, by let the electrons, that bond pair of electrons, absorbed by this oxygen. So finally here SiOH bond Cl plus HCl molecule is left. So like this, due to the presence of empty d orbitals, they react with water molecules. But this possibility is not there in carbon. Why? Because that carbon does not contain empty d orbitals. Due to absence of empty d orbitals, it is unable to react with water molecules. So that's why the elements like silicon, germanium, tin and lead react with water. Tetrahalides of remaining elements in this 14 group react with water molecules. Okay, like this. And SiF6 is known, but SiCl6 is not known. It is due to this silicon cannot accommodate the 6 large chloride ions around it. Due to the small size of silicon. It can able to accommodate only 6 small sized fluorine atoms, but it is unable to accommodate the 6 large sized chlorine atoms. Only it can accommodate 6 small sized fluorine atoms like this. If you observe here, for example, this is considered as a size of silicon. Here it can able to accommodate the 6 small sized fluorine atoms. Like this. It forms complex like structure SiF6 2 minus, but it is unable to accommodate 6 large sized chlorine atoms. Only it can accommodate 4 chlorine atoms around it. There is no possibility to come to bond with another 2 chlorine atoms. Okay, so there is no space to attach to that silicon atom, to attach this silicon atom. Okay, so silicon unable to accommodate the large sized chlorine atoms, only it can able to accommodate the small sized chlorine atoms. That's why SiF6 2 minus is known, SiF6 2 minus is known, but SiCl6 2 minus is not known. SiCl6 2 minus is not known. Okay, and next one is reaction with hydrogen. Reaction with hydrogen. Okay, here these group elements react with hydrogen to form covalent hydrides. Covalent hydrides, from top to bottom, stability and ease of formation of hydrides is decreased. Stability and ease of formation of hydrides is decreased. So this is the stability order. SH4 is greater than SiH4 is greater than germanium hydride, greater than tin hydride, and then lead hydride. Okay, this is about the hydrogen, reaction with hydrogen. Okay, and next one is reaction with oxygen. These group elements react with oxygen to form monooxides and as well as dioxides. Monooxides as well as dioxides. Here CO2, SiO2 are acidic in nature. CO2 and SiO2 are acidic in nature, and GeO2, SnO2 are amphoteric in nature. You remember these 2 points also. And next one is PbO2 is weakly basic. PbO2 is weakly basic. According to this, from top to bottom, acidic nature is decreased and basic nature is increased. Amphoteric means it able to react with acidic as well as acid as well as base. As well, amphoteric means the compound is able to react with acid as well as base. It means it exhibits the both acidic property as well as basic property. Okay, that type of compounds are called amphoteric compounds. Generally, metalloids is able to exhibit that amphoteric nature. Okay, similarly, in case of monooxides, SiO is unstable. SiO is unstable, but remaining compounds like CO is neutral, GeO and SnO are acidic, and PbO is amphoteric. PbO is amphoteric, like this. So, depending upon the metallic and non-metallic nature of oxides, depending upon metallic and non-metallic nature. Similarly, oxidation state also. Here in case of PbO2, in case of dioxide, PbO2 is basic. Why? Because here the oxidation state is +4. Okay, but in case of PbO, it is amphoteric. Here oxidation state is +2, like that. So acidic or basic nature depending upon metallic or non-metallic character as well as the oxidation state also. Okay, this is about the reaction with oxygen. Okay, let's be discussing about some important compounds of carbon. Here the first one is carbon monoxide, CO. Okay, it is prepared or it is obtained by the partial reaction of or partial combustion of carbon to oxygen to form monooxides. Here carbon undergo burning in the presence of less amount of oxygen, insufficient amount of oxygen to give carbon monoxide. Okay, generally it is originate or observed in case of insufficient oxygen burning condition. That's why you have to planting. Okay, generally in our day-to-day life, the consumption of fuel in automobiles and transportation sector is very high. That's why you have to plantation is also very important. Otherwise, instead of carbon dioxide, they give carbon monoxide. That carbon monoxide is the dangerous pollutant, toxic pollutant. It is hazardous to the health of human beings. Okay, here the properties of this carbon monoxide is it is colorless, odorless, poisonous. It forms stable complex with hemoglobin. It is 300 times more stable than oxyhemoglobin. It means generally the role of hemoglobin is it can transport the oxygen and CO2 in our body from lungs to tissues, tissues to lungs. During this process, it is able to form bond with that carbon dioxide and oxygen atoms, oxygen molecules. Here, the two complexes are very unstable complexes. Okay, bond forming and bond breaking takes place between the hemoglobin and carbon dioxide, the hemoglobin and oxygen. But if this carbon monoxide is enter into our body, once it combined with hemoglobin, that bond never breaks. It means all hemoglobin in our body is locked with carbon monoxide. That's why finally that person will becomes to die. It may lead to die, loss of life. Okay, that's why it is very dangerous compound. Here the hybridization of this carbon monoxide is sp hybridization. In carbon monoxide, that carbon undergo sp hybridization. This point is also very important. It is neutral compound. Okay, and the properties of carbon monoxide is CO is powerful reducing agent and it reduces the metal oxides to pure metal. By using this property, it can be used in metallurgical process to prepare the pure metals from their metal oxides. Actually, metals are available in the form of oxides, carbides like that. Okay, some of the metals are available in the form of oxides. That oxides are reduced to pure metal by using this carbon monoxide. The best example is iron oxide. Iron is available in the form of Fe2O3. So when this Fe2O3 is react with carbon monoxide to form pure iron and moreover carbon dioxide. Okay, like this. And CO is reduces to iodine oxide to iodine like this. Okay, this I2O5 is converted to I2. And moreover, CO is neutral due to the presence of lone pair of electrons. Able to form complexes with transition elements, that is nothing but D block elements. Okay, it acts as a ligand, neutral ligand. Like it react with the nickel metal transition element to form nickel CO taken 4 times complex. Okay, like this. It depending upon the stability of this complex depending upon the temperature. It is only stable at room temperature, that is 28 degrees centigrade. At 230 degrees centigrade, this complex undergo breaking to form individual compounds. Okay, like this. The stability of complex depending upon temperature. Okay, like this. This is about the properties of carbon monoxide. It has reducing nature as well acts as a ligand to form complexes with transition elements. Okay, this is able to form coordinate covalent compound. It acts as a neutral ligand and it is ambient ligand. It is acts as ambient ligand. All these are discussed in next chapter, that is coordination chemistry. Okay, and next one is carbon dioxide. Here it is prepared by the complete combustion of carbon in the presence of excess air, in the presence of excess oxygen. Okay, you remember this point. In the presence of insufficient oxygen, that hydrocarbons or carbon undergo burning to form carbon monoxide. In the presence of excess oxygen, they form carbon dioxide. Remember that point. The reaction is C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. If you take hydrocarbon, that hydrocarbon also forms CO2 plus water molecules also. Like that. So, if you observe the properties, it is colorless, odorless, and CO2 is a linear molecule. In this carbon undergo sp hybridization. Here also carbon undergo sp hybridization. Okay, CO, in case of CO, carbon undergo sp hybridization. Here the structure of CO is like this, triple bond is present. Here also double bond. In both sides carbon has double bond. That's why in case of CO2, carbon also undergo sp hybridization. Okay, and moreover, the next point is the dipole moment of this CO2 is 0 due to the linear shape. Okay, these two bonds are polar bonds. Here partial positive charge is there and partial negative charge is there. Here also partial positive bond and partial negative. This is polar bond, this is polar bond. But the net dipole moment is 0. Why? Because the U1 is equal to U2. So U1 minus U2 is equal to 0. The net dipole moment of CO2 is 0 even though it contains polar bonds. It means the dipole moment of one carbon oxygen bond is cancelled by the dipole moment produced another carbon oxygen bond. Another carbon is oxygen bond. That's why the net dipole moment is 0. Net dipole moment is 0. Okay, like this. This is about the carbon dioxide. And let's be discussing about the applications of carbon dioxide. Applications of carbon dioxide. Here, the solid CO2 is called dry ice or cold ice. Solid CO2 is called dry ice or cold ice. It is used as a refrigerant for the ice creams and frozen food. Ice creams and frozen. Okay, acts as a refrigerant. Acts as a refrigerant. The solid CO2 maintains the 0 degree centigrade, less than 0 degree centigrade temperature. That's why the it acts as a refrigerant for the ice creams and frozen foods. And it is also used as a fire extinguisher. The gaseous CO2 is used as a fire extinguisher. It retards the rate of combustion. That's why CO2 used as a fire extinguisher. And moreover, it is used in the manufacturing of urea and soft drinks also. Manufacturing of urea as well as manufacturing of soft drinks like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Thums Up, and like soda, like this. So these substances also in the preparation of that substance also we use this CO2. And moreover, it is also involved in the synthesis of photosynthesis process to prepare food. The reaction of involved in the photosynthesis process is here CO2 is the major compound. Okay. In presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they react with water molecules to give glucose. Okay, in these photosynthesis reactions, these carbon dioxide molecules plays important role in the production of food. Okay, these are the major applications of CO2. And moreover, the CO2 is also used as a supercritical fluid. It is the intermediate state between the liquid and gas. At this stage, it acts as a solvent. That supercritical fluid CO2 acts as a solvent, best solvent. Nowadays we use the supercritical fluid CO2 used as a solvent in so many chemical reactions. Okay, this is about the uses and applications of carbon dioxide. Okay, let's be discussing about the silicones. These silicones are nothing but organosilicon polymers are called silicones. Here the repeating unit is R2SiO. Here these are prepared in 3 steps. These organosilicon polymers are prepared in 3 steps. Here in these reactions, the starting materials for the manufacturing of these silicones are alkyl or aryl silicon chlorides are taking as a starting materials. Alkyl or aryl halides are taking as a starting materials for the preparation of these silicones. Okay, let's be discussing what are the reactions involved in the preparation of these silicones are discussing later. Okay, here first alkyl halides or aryl halides react with silicon to give now in this reaction I take methyl chloride react with silicon to give like this alkyl silicon chlorides. Methyl silicon chloride is formed. Now this methyl silicon chloride this is the first step. Step 1. Now we can discussing about the step 2. Here this methyl dimethyl silicon dichloride react with water molecule. It means it undergo hydrolysis to give silanols to give silanols. Now that silanols undergo condensation, n number of molecules of silanols undergo condensation like this. N number of silanols undergo condensation to give long chain, that is called silicones or silicon rubbers. Silicones or silicon rubbers by eliminating n minus number of water molecules, n minus 1 number of water molecules, like this to form long chain. These are plays important role in rubber industry. Okay, let's be discussing about some important uses and applications of silicones are these are majorly due to the elastic property. These are majorly used in the manufacturing of tubes, tires, and it is also used in the used as a sealant. Okay, these are the major important applications of silicones. Okay, thank you. Your Saramneni Narasimharao.